This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Kind of just been going down a rabbit hole of trying to make sense of any of this because it doesn't really make sense.
A death across the world felt here on Vancouver Island. Friends and family mourn the loss of a friend and daughter.
And at a certain point, it didn't matter how efficiently we were operating or how good the beer was. Sometimes it's just not enough.
Shutting off the taps. Why Victoria Brewery is calling it quits after nearly 3 decades in business. Plus, Adam finds out how a man who forgot who he was remembered to always be generous to everyone. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. The father of a Campbell River teenager who was found dead in Australia delivered a heartbreaking tribute today, saying the family's hearts are shattered. Their 19-year-old daughter, Piper James, had been backpacking through Australia with a close friend. As CTV's Andy Garland reports, she had reportedly been working in the area where she was found in Queensland.
She loved taking her dogs and the Forerunner up to the lake.
Brianna Falk remembers her close friend Piper as someone who had a hard exterior.
Once you got to know her, she was a big softie.
Tia Savard was Piper's best friend for many years.
She was fun. She loved music, like dancing. That was, I think, our main thing.
The two were shocked to find out that the young Campbell River woman was the Canadian citizen found dead on a beach in Australia.
I received a call from the friend probably about like 7 o'clock at night.
Oh my goodness.
So I did not sleep last night. I've kind of just been going down a rabbit hole of trying to make sense of any of this because it doesn't really make sense.
Piper's parents tell CTV News she was in Australia with a close friend for a 5-month backpacking trip. And in a Facebook post, Piper's father Todd says, "Our hearts are shattered as we share the tragic loss of our beautiful daughter Piper. We will always remember her infectious laugh and her kind spirit."
She didn't like to be the center of attention unless she was doing something really cool, you know, like firefighting or motocross. She loved that.
Police in Australia say it's too early to speculate on cause of death. But when her body was discovered on the beach, she was surrounded by a pack of wild dogs.
We simply can't confirm whether this young lady drowned or died as a result of being attacked by dingoes.
Friends were shocked to hear the possible circumstances surrounding her death, but did know she loved the water.
I would hope that it was the ocean, but I don't believe it. She was a very strong swimmer. If it was between them hurting her while she was alive and them just finding her after, I hope that it was after.
Piper's parents plan on flying to Australia to bring her home after an autopsy is complete. Andy Garland, CTV News, Campbell River.
Throughout BC and the rest of the country, housing availability and affordability is top of mind. The province has stepped in, setting housing targets for many municipalities. Some are meeting those targets and some have missed the mark. As CTV's Brendan Strange shows us, Victoria is bucking the trend, and today another purpose-built rental building officially opened its doors in the heart of the city.
Thank you all for being here today to celebrate this milestone.
It's the opening of the Salient Group's newest purpose-built rental building called 825 Fort Street in the heart of downtown Victoria. It consists of 119 units financed through CMHC's Apartment Construction Loan Program.
It enabled us to provide homes that are being offered at rents that are 10% less than market.
Over the course of the next 20 years.
To bring in 119 new units of affordable, dedicated rental housing, obviously a significant addition to our housing stock.
Roughly 3 blocks away, it's the busiest corner in Victoria for development, with 2 sites under construction and a third before council that will bring more than 1,500 units online.
We have in the first 2 years actually exceeded the provincial government's targets for housing starts.
The 5-year target for the City of Victoria is 4,902 units.
We didn't fully meet the target for 2025, but our performance is putting us well on track to meet the target for the coming year and then future years.
Last night, Saanich Council heard more community feedback on the proposed draft for the Quadra Mackenzie Plan, setting the framework for what growth is going to look like for the busy corridor.
It will be thousands of new people who will settle in the community over the next 20 years.
Much of that feedback was around height, density, and where it would be appropriate. Buildings up to 18 stories tall are being proposed in the draft for the area near the Quadra-Mackenzie intersection. That meeting went past midnight, and council decided to defer its decision.
We postponed it till February 2nd, so 2 weeks from now.
According to recent CMHC data, all this new housing is having an impact on the capital region. Vacancy rates have reached its highest levels since 1999, sitting at 3.3%, although affordability worsened, driven by the turnover of renters and larger rent increases on those freshly turned over units.
It's been a long process. We really initially conceived this project in 2016.
It's now Victoria's newest purpose-built rental building, with its first tenants moving in on February 1st. Brendan Strain, CTV News, Victoria.
BC Housing is opening a new 24/7 temporary shelter in Victoria. The Bridge Street Pathways shelter will be located at 2920 Bridge Street, just outside the downtown core, and will have 34 spaces for people currently living on the streets downtown. The city is investing $700,000 over 3 years into the project, and it will be run and staffed by the not-for-profit group Connective. The building will be fenced in and will include portable washrooms, showers, a laundry facility, sleeping and day use areas. The site, which will operate by referral only and offer other social supports, is expected to open by the spring. 3 Vancouver Island companies have been fined in relation to a death at a construction site in Nanaimo. WorkSafe BC has fined Mushlat Projects nearly $22,000 after one of its employees was killed on the job in September 2024. The fine was handed down this past November. WorkSafe BC says the firm was installing an HVAC system at a construction site when a double door fell on a worker, killing them. WorkSafe's investigation found the company had not provided proper safety orientation prior to starting work, and the worker was not properly supervised. The contractor for the site, Bobwall Limited, was also fined $9,000 for the incident, in which WorkSafe BC found the double door frames that killed the worker had been leaning against a wall in an unsecured manner. A third company, Chris M. Mitchell of Ferguson Exteriors, was also fined $2,500 for similar violations. A pioneer of the craft brewing industry on southern Vancouver Island is throwing in the towel after nearly 3 decades. Lighthouse Brewing describes its demise as a death by 1,000 cuts. As CTV's Anna McMillan shows us, the Lighthouse legacy will live on, and there's reason to believe other breweries can make it in a challenging market.
27 years after opening, Lighthouse Brewing is going dark.
I think it was kind of death by 1,000 cuts.
The Esquimalt-based brewery is one of the region's oldest, known for its flagship beer, Race Rocks.
We will be shutting down the actual facility. Just overheads are crippling. You know, there's a bunch of different factors that are all contributing to that decision.
Co-owner Ben Thomas says that includes dramatic increases to ingredients and canning costs, an oversaturated market, and a change in consumer behavior.
So you've got like a ton of breweries, and it was okay for a little while, and then now the pie itself is smaller of people who are actually consuming beer.
He says Lighthouse reduced its staff and was only making what it could sell.
And at a certain point, it didn't matter how efficiently we were operating or how good the beer was. Sometimes it's just not enough.
The BC Craft Brewers Guild says more than 20 of some 200 BC breweries closed last year.
That's a brewery that really established craft beer for all of us. You know, they were pioneers back in the day.
The Guild's executive director says some businesses have managed to pivot in a competitive market.
You've got to chase the crowd. So if the crowd is going to better quality food and non-alcoholic offerings, then you've got to be part of that mix.
Phillips Brewing in downtown Victoria has done just that, producing events, growing its tap room, and making spirits, sodas, and non-alcoholic beers.
We're doing okay. It's for sure a battle, but we're definitely doing okay.
Phillips is buying the Lighthouse brand and beers.
It'll stay and remain Lighthouse. We're going to honor those brands, let them be what they are, and build on that.
Meaning the Lighthouse legacy lives on.
I just want to thank everybody for all the support. We wouldn't have made it this far without you.
Lighthouse is hosting a customer appreciation party on Saturday to bookend nearly 3 decades in business. Anna McMillan, CTV News, Esquimalt.
Well, southern Vancouver Island has been experiencing a break from the gray and rainy weather over the past few days, and it has some taking notice of the early blooms. A walk around downtown Victoria and James Bay, and you'll find early signs of spring. According to Environment and Climate Change Canada, temperatures are unseasonably warm. The average daily high for the first 3 weeks of January is 7 degrees. So far this year, 15 out of 19 days have seen highs above 7 degrees. While the break from winter is welcome, one expert says it puts stress on species if a cold snap arrives.
Plants are supposed to go and do go into dormancy in the winter. As they start to grow when spring arrives, they start to use energy to start pitting blossoms, etc. If we get a February cold snap, a really cold snap, we're going to have troubles with it's because it stresses many species.
The average number of days above 10 degrees for January is 7. We've already hit 8 this month with a week and a half to go.
And Afisa, you can update that to 9 as we got to 11 degrees today. 9 double-digit days so far this month. We're at 7 at the harbor right now, 9 at the airport. We'll let you know if there are any more double-digit days on the way right after the break.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next vacation by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
What makes West Shore Parks and Recreation a perfect place to play? It's our staff, working behind the scenes to keep the pool safe, kids engaged, and programs thriving. So apply today and join our team.
Well, Josh, it feels like the phrase of the day is double-digit highs, but not for much longer.
Double digits done after today. It's still going to be around, maybe even slightly above average for the next couple of days. But I think 8 or 9 is about as warm as it's going to get in Victoria. It is 9 degrees at the airport right now. Tofino's still in double digits at 10. A little cooler in Comox, Port Alberni, foggy as well. You notice you got fairly clear skies aside from the fog. But late this afternoon, that fog advisory was extended to not just include inland areas, especially around Port Alberni, but up around Comox as well, where fog has been fairly thick at times through the day today. Watch this upper ridge. We talked yesterday about the fact that you have this warm air aloft that's kind of trapping that moisture at the surface, preventing things from moving, and so you get that fog settling in and just kind of sticking around in many areas. In this orange area, that's the warmest area. That's the core of that ridge. Watch how the oranges and the yellows drop back off to the southwest over the course of the next couple of days. So the pattern is changing, and that should bring an end, especially after tomorrow morning, to the persistent fog. May even see a little bit of cloud cover late in the day tomorrow, starting to make its way into northern and parts of northwestern Vancouver Island. A mixed sun of cloud tomorrow in the north. Some fog patches again through the morning hours. Start the day at about -2, get to 6 degrees in the afternoon. 5s and 6s for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Chance of showers to close out the weekend for most of the island. Almost everybody has that chance of showers on Sunday. Inland areas, fog, especially tomorrow morning. I think the pattern should, as we said, start to shift a little bit, and we'll get some breaks in that fog through the afternoon hours. Out of the west coast, mostly cloudy. A little bit of cloud cover further to the north. Or mostly sunny tomorrow, a little bit of cloud cover further to the north. 8 degrees tomorrow, 7s and 8s for Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. In Comox, foggy again tomorrow, especially through the morning hours. You may see the sun break through in the afternoon. High of about 9, where the sun does break through in that region. If you're closer to the water, though, that fog, if it does stick around, you're probably stuck at around 5 or 6 for a daytime high tomorrow afternoon, and similar highs Thursday and Friday. Same goes for Nanaimo. Sunshine for most of the Nanaimo region in the afternoon hours after a little bit of fog through the morning. 9 degrees for a daytime high, provided you get that sunshine. Cooler, closer to 5 or 6 in areas where the fog hangs around into the early afternoon. And in Victoria, after hitting 11 for a daytime high today, we'll get to about 8 or 9 tomorrow for morning fog patches, then mainly sunny in the afternoon. Fairly light wind. Mixed sun and cloud for Thursday. We're back to sunshine Friday, and through the weekend, just a slight chance of showers late Sunday, but I think most of the weekend should be dry. And back to around average, maybe even slightly below average, with highs of about 5 Saturday, Sunday. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So not quite as warm as the past 5 to 10 days to Fisa, but still fairly pleasant.
All right, thanks, Josh. The BC Paramedics Union is warning of possible job action and what that could mean for patients. The union, which is in contract negotiations with the province, says even though essential service levels would be set, it considers any type of strike, quote, life-threatening for the public. The union says the ambulance service is kept afloat by people working overtime.
If members decide that in this climate that they don't want to work overtime anywhere near to the levels that they work, it is going to have profound implications, especially in rural, remote, and Indigenous communities.
But the Health Employers Association of BC says the province's essential service requirements would prevent immediate or serious danger to the health of the public should there be job action. The union is calling for veteran mediator Vince Reddy to help with contract negotiations. The union says the sticking point is flex money, which can be used for things like increasing night shift premiums or overtime pay. Strong words today from Canada's Prime Minister addressing leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Without mentioning the U.S. President, Mark Carney said the rules-based world order is fading and we must adapt. He also reaffirmed Canada's support for Greenland. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver is in Davos with more on Carney's remarks, which triggered an audible reaction of support from the room.
Nestled in the usually calm mountains of the ski town Davos, a chaotic meeting of hundreds of politicians and top business leaders at the World Economic Forum that this year Prime Minister Mark Carney used to deliver a frank message about the future.
The old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just.
Carney declared the U.S.-led world order dead and said countries must turn inward now that it's clear integration can lead to subordination.
Call it what it is, a system of intensifying great power rivalry where the most powerful pursue their interests using economic integration as coercion.
Withstanding those economic shocks, the Prime Minister said will require like-minded countries to pivot, to work together to hedge uncertainty. While Trump's name was never mentioned, Carney did call on middle powers like Canada to push back against domination by great powers, using tariffs as leverage and supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited.
In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice. Compete with each other for favor, or to combine to create a third path with impact.
The message receiving what organizers described as a rare standing ovation at a summit where geopolitics and the future of Greenland is looming large.
Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland and calls for focused talks to achieve our shared objectives of security and prosperity in the Arctic.
Carney may get a chance to raise his concerns about Greenland directly to the U.S. president. While no meeting is currently scheduled between Carney and Donald Trump, the U.S. president will be here tomorrow at the same time as Mark Carney. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Davos, Switzerland.
Coming up, from healing to helping, Adam finds out how a man who suffered a debilitating injury learned to transform his adversity into an opportunity to help others. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Finally, Adam finds out how a man who couldn't remember anything learned how to never forget helping others on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
One moment.
Oh. Uh-oh.
He's riding his bike.
Uh-oh.
Before suddenly collapsing.
And it happened like that.
The next moment, Ryan Heitinen was waking up in the hospital.
I forgot everything.
What do you mean by that?
Everything.
Not only did Ryan not remember who he was, he didn't know he was married with kids, let alone recognize the woman saying she was his mom.
I'm terrified.
Anne says her son had suffered a stroke before enduring brain surgery and being unresponsive for weeks.
At that point, they weren't sure if he was even going to make it.
Until one day, Ryan's wife and kids walked into his hospital room.
His face just lit up. Absolutely lit up.
I suddenly remembered I have a daughter and a son.
And we all kind of went, okay, this is what he needed. He needed a purpose.
Inspired by his family, Ryan has fought to learn how to do the most basic things again. And with the help of his healthcare team, is celebrating previously unimaginable accomplishments.
I would not have survived without them.
And Ryan would not be thriving.
Laughter is a thing.
Like when a condition called aphasia makes him unable to communicate with words, Ryan chooses to smile.
Smiling makes the world go round.
And after losing the ability to use his right arm and hand,
this is my 3D workspace.
Ryan taught himself how to use a 3D printer to design all sorts of adaptive tools, ranging from one-handed nail clippers to one-handed toothpaste dispensers.
I want to give back.
So Ryan started putting up posters offering to custom print all of his inventions to people in need for free.
To change lives would be the best that I could be.
And instead of mourning what he's lost, Ryan is choosing to celebrate all the good he can find.
And you have to find joy in your life. And Ryan has done that.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by Coastal Community Credit Union. Bank happy at Coastal Community Credit Union.
That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night.